Welcome everyone and thank you so much for joining in. So before I dive into this content, I want to make you guys aware. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you haven't destroyed that like button, then please do it right now because it's only going to take you a second of your time, and also in return I will be providing you some very interesting content and also educational stuff. So this is win-win for both of us. So now starting this here in a daily time frame using this CPI indicator or so-called pivotal points, I want to show you guys what could be happening right now and also what must the price of Bitcoin do to see an actual impulsive price movement. So if you are aware, yesterday I showed you why in an uptrend the price of Bitcoin usually finds support above the CPI lines, the monthly CPI lines, but in a downtrend the same CPI line acts as a resistance. You can see here, right? But in our case we have said, hey, we still need to be very careful because the price is below the CPI line, because in uptrend like this the price was finding support at the CPI line, right? Came over it. But in a downtrend like this, the CPI line is acting as a resistance, and since the price of Bitcoin is also below the CPI line, this is still a sign of danger we have to take into consideration. Even though right now the price of Bitcoin shows it could be forming this double bottom type of scenario. So for this double bottom also to play out, we have to overcome this CPI line, the top CPI line you can see here, right? The central CPI line and the bottom CPI line, which is between 47,000 to 50,000 price range. So if the price of Bitcoin wants to show an actual movement forming this double bottom type of scenario also, then we have to close at anyhow above this 50,000 range, because closing above this 50,000 will also break the neckline of this double bottom and also the top CPI line. But if we look at this here in a bit different way, another bullish scenario is unfolding here, which I talked on my yesterday's video, because on my yesterday video I made you very clear according to this right angle broadening wedge. According to this right angle broadening wedge, the upper line usually acts as a strong line of resistance, lower line is a strong line of support. But before an actual breakout takes place, you can see price gets some sort of a final retracement before we start moving here to the upside. And in our case, this could be a pretty similar scenario. If I hide this CPI indicator, you can see the price of Bitcoin here looks like it is forming this right angle broadening wedge, right? So now this pullback here could be the final pullback, and if the price of Bitcoin manages to somehow remain above this 47,000, right, then we could be forming this final shoulder here before again continue to the upside as soon as this resistance line, the upper line resistance, is going to be flipped into support. Because we are aware, guys, not just only right angle broadening wedge, but this could be also looked as a more of a double bottom. And if this is going to play out, then the resistance line, this resistance line until this 50,000 must be broken at any cost. Otherwise this double bottom, also this right angle broadening wedge, is going to fail and price could see further retracement. Because in this case, if this is going to be a failure, we are aware the lower price target for this January month has also been already placed, because CPI is a leading indicator and this lower price target is lying somewhere around $38,190, and this is not what we want to see, because you can see the price here is getting rejection at the CPI line retracement. Now this is another area where we are also below this CPI line. So if this is going to be further retracement, then we have to be careful, because in that case, right, in case of failure, the price of Bitcoin could see this movement towards this 38,000, and that is not what we want to happen. And not just only this one here, guys, if the price of Bitcoin could see some sort of a consolidation around this 47,000 range, then there is a very high probability of price also trying to approach above this resistance line. Why? Because we are aware, yesterday I talked about this parallel channel, and this parallel channel was a very important line for Bitcoin, because it shows us that we are trapped between this 47,000 to the downside and 51,000 here to the upside. Because we can see clearly upper line was a strong line of resistance, lower line was an extremely important line of support, right, which did held the price plenty of time. And that's why on my yesterday video I added this smaller right angle broadening wedge here as well, if you remember. So now you can see even this pullback, if it's going to happen here and price is going to find support around this 0.5 Fibonacci line or the golden pocket level. So if we do find support around this range, then there is a probability of price also trying to break here to the upside, and in that case we could be again trying to break out of this resistance line from the CPI indicator. And not just only this one here, guys, not just only this one here. Before I switch into other chart, I just want to make you aware, Bybit and Femex both are providing around $4,100 bonus each. I mean, the total of $8,200 bonus is being provided for our community members. So if you are an experienced trader and want to take advantage of this market volatility, then this is the great opportunity, because Bybit, as you can see, is providing around $4,100 bonus if you use my ref link and sign up, which is going to take you not more than a minute, and also with Femex. So I personally use Bybit for trading, and if you want to trade altcoins, then Femex could be a great option as well. Now let's switch into other chart. If you are aware, I have also talked about this falling wedge, and in this falling wedge, even though falling wedge is a bullish scenario, in our case we broke to the downside exactly like as shown here in the example, but you can see after liquidating all the longs, right, it still managed to show this impulsive price movement. And this is exactly what could be also happening right now, as long as the price of Bitcoin is going to hold this support line, because as I've said you, this could be more of a double bottom before we again start this new impulsive movement. And here we have this similar double bottom or inverse head and shoulder type of scenario playing out. So that's why this is actually making a lot of sense. But to form this or to make this valid, we are not allowed to close below this lower line area of this parallel channel, because breaking below this lower line area will clearly indicate a sign of weakness, and in that case we will be focusing around this lower price target for this month of January placed by CPI, which is around 38,000 price level. So now what I'm also going to do, guys, I will be showing you this one scenario which I talked on my yesterday's video, because if you look at this falling trend line in a very simple way, you can see the falling trend line was an important line of resistance and also a line of support, because you can see resistance, and the same line is holding the price at this current state. So if the price of Bitcoin wants to form this actual breakout, because we have broken out of this resistance line, then we have to overcome all this obstacle that I showed you with this CPI line, double bottom neckline area, and also from this right angle broadening with the upper line area. So we have to overcome all this obstacle if this actually wants to play out as a successful bump and run reversal bottom. But if we get rejection, then as I've said you guys, we could see a potential pullback towards this monthly S1 line, and in that case this is going to be a failure bump and run reversal pattern, because in a failure the price is not going to find support at this falling trend line, and then we start this actual downward price movement. And this is exactly also what could be playing out if the price fails to break out of this resistance line. So these are some of the interesting scenario I wanted to share with you in today's quick update. If you enjoyed this kind of video, then please hit the like button, and also for those individual watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.